All right, so do you want to get into some of the Reddit questions?
Yeah, I think we could probably get into that right now.
Whoa. Breaking news?
That's breaking news.
What do we got?
Well, according to the Philadelphia Flyers, this just came out a little bit ago. Paul Holmgren has been named assistant GM for Team USA at the 2016 World Cup of Hockey.
Well, it's not like he's doing anything for the Flyers right now, so this is good for him.
It's like we talked about before. When they were introducing Hextall, when Hextall and Snyder, they were all up there, and Homer's all the way at the end. I would totally just be like, hey, Homer, how you doing, man?
You kind of felt bad for him because he's sitting there like, somebody please ask me a question, please. So now he's going to be the assistant GM?
Yeah, for Team USA at the 2016 World Cup of Hockey, which is going to be held in Toronto.
All right, well, congrats, Homer.
Yeah, absolutely. Dean Lombardi, president and GM of the LA Kings, has been named general manager of Team USA.
Well, that's a nice pick.
Holmgren is entering, and it says here in an official press statement from the Flyers, Holmgren is entering his 37th season being a part of this organization. Wow. Say what you will about the guy, but
he's got pictures of somebody, is what you're saying.
He got us Wayne Simmons. He got us Jake Voracek.
Yes, he did.
He brought Yager in for that one glorious year, which was just so awesome. Minus the Brizgalov signing and minus trading Bobrovsky away.
He gets a bad rap. Yes, you're right.
And he was great as a coach. Remember that video when he was going after Terry Murray when he took the
breaking sticks? Oh, yes. That is one of my favorite clips.
There used to be a video called Paul Holmgren Goes Apeshit, and I can't find it on YouTube.
Took it down.
Yeah, I can't find it. We haven't seen that in a while. But
if anybody has that, please send it to us.
Oh, it's so fantastic. Paul Holmgren in it, he kind of looks like Robert Stack's character in Beavis and Butthead Do America.
Yes,
he looks just like him with the skinny tie.
Yes.
Cracking sticks over the glass. Oh, he looked like he was going to go out the ice and murder somebody.
All right, well, let's get into those Reddit questions.
Yeah, absolutely. I've been really, really excited about this, just to have so many people interacting with us, asking us questions. And some people actually, want to know some personal stuff about us if we still work in radio and all that other stuff. So let's get into that. All right. Well, this one, first question, comes from user Georgie W.S. Bush.
I didn't realize the president was a fan of the Flyers.
I like the Flyers. It's the worst Bush impression ever. He says this in his question. He says, another interesting hire that Hextall made this season is Kim Dillabaugh, the new goaltending coach formerly of the Kings. What is your opinion of this hire, given that the Flyers snagged 3 goalies in the draft, hired a new backup goalie, and have the credentials to bring the goaltending unit to cup contending status in the next few years?
Well, you look at Dillabaugh, he's 37, spent 8 seasons with the Kings.
Yep.
Last time I checked, they've developed some pretty good goalies.
Jonathan Quick and Bernier?
Yes.
Too bad the Leafs are squandering his career, though.
So I would have to say that all in all, this is an excellent hire.
I think it's fantastic. I think it's absolutely fantastic. It goes along, hand to hand with Hextall, with his previous ties with the Kings organization. And so far, so good. He's already been doing some work with Steve Mason. So I'm very, very excited about this. I did like Jeff Reese, but I'm also excited to see something new.
Are we ever going to find out that whole story with Jeff Reese and why he was let go at the end of last season? Because Mason really liked him.
Yeah, they did have a good little dynamic going on. And he's had great rapport with most of the goaltenders that he's coached over his tenure in Philadelphia.
It was just surprising how it all went down, but nothing's leaked out about it.
Yeah, very interesting, but it's all right because we're looking towards the future. Hextall on this hire, bringing Kim Dillabaugh into the fold, he says this. He says, quote, he's one of the most intelligent guys I've ever been around. He's a very calm and terrific teacher. He knows how hard to push guys and when to back off and when to put an arm around them. He's a good coach. Well, I'll take his word for it. He is Ron Hextall, probably my favorite Flyers player. So, absolutely.
And a former goalie.
Yes. Well, so I think everyone knows that.
Well, I'm just saying, a former goalie knows what he's talking about in this case.
Yeah. So what that's going to mean for making Mason even better than he already is and making this team into a contender, I think goaltending, we're pretty good at this point.
Well, Dillabaugh on Mason says, I'm kind of going through the process of getting to know him and getting to know his game. The season he had last year was tremendous. We are looking to continue to maximize his assets and attributes and make areas of his game better. So if he can make Mason better, especially off of the season he had last year, oh, yes. Sign me up for that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Now, in terms of goaltending, it's been one of the most repeated, beaten into the ground statements you'll ever hear. Go ahead. I'll let you say it.
Philly is the place where goaltenders go to die.
We hear that a lot, but here's what Kim Dillabaugh has to say about it. He says, quote, "I'm starting from this point forward. What has happened in the past doesn't have much to do with me."
Perfect comment. What more could you ask for?
Boom! Drop the mic.
Yep.
Done.
See ya.
Yeah. Like, hey, we're not in the past, so why are you?
So it sounds like we're both on board with this hire.
Absolutely. I am definitely on board for this one. So,
all right. Next question. What do we got?
Here's one from Reddit user Brian. I think I'm saying that right. It's got like, it's got like 5 M's.
5 M's after the Brian.
Brian.
So, yeah.
He says this. What, if anything, can this team do to not suck ass in the shootout? On paper, we were solid, but last year and each year was atrocious. I know. Get rid of the shootout.
Well, I think one of the good things that we're looking at here is the overtime rule changes.
Yes.
It's going to be 3-on-3.
That's going to be exciting.
So now if you throw G, Jake, and Mark Straight out there, that's a pretty good threesome.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that'll be real entertaining.
So
to
I
watch.
think that's the key, to score on those 3-on-3s and not get to the shootout.
Yeah, the best way to do better in the shootout is to avoid it altogether.
But if we do get to the shootout, I think Giroux is one of the better shootout players, especially on the Flyers.
Yep.
And I think
Simmons was great last year.
Simmons was good, and then you look at the trade, Gagne, bringing him over. I mean, we've seen some spectacular shootout goals out of him in the past. So I think he'll help as well.
And from Voracek as well, but that goes without saying.
Yeah. So I think they'll be fine. Like I said, I think the biggest key is going to be score when it's 3-on-3 and don't go to the shootout.
So thank you very much for that, Brian. Brian.
Next question.
You're really getting into that, aren't you? Next question. Okay, dude. Hang on. Next question comes from Walden Bound. Walden Bound says, really enjoying the show. Well, thanks. Thanks a lot. We really do actually appreciate that. It's fantastic.
We enjoy doing it.
Yeah, absolutely. He says, as far as questions I'd like to hear you guys discuss, I'm always enticed by what-if scenarios. With that in mind, what do you guys think would need to happen in order for the Flyers to be Cup contenders this coming year?
The other 29 teams need to fold and go away. I just don't see it this year. Outside of a major trade of bringing in a couple other superstars, I just don't see this team as legitimate Cup contenders this season.
What I will say is I still do see this team making the playoffs in this upcoming season.
See, I'm even on the fence about that. I'm not sure if this is a playoff team or not.
I think that they can, they could get into a wild card position. I think they can get in.
The one hope is that all you have to do is get in the tournament.
Mm-hmm.
And then anything can happen.
Exactly.
Mason stands on his head.
It's like a whole new season all over again.
Absolutely. So to answer to this seriously, I think Steve Mason has to be the ultimate goaltender for this team to win a cup.
I would have to agree with you. And then the defense definitely has to step their game up and improve themselves as well. All right, let's move on to another question. This one comes from Discourse_SOTC. He sent us this question about a week ago. He said he wants to hear maybe some stuff about us, Ken.
About us?
Yeah.
Okay.
We don't have to talk about, we can talk about ourselves a little bit, which I think is pretty cool. He asked, do you guys currently work in the radio business?
Well, I guess that's a yes and no kind of question.
Well, I do.
Yeah, you're on the air.
Yeah, I am actually a DJ on a rock station up here in central Pennsylvania. Check it out. 105.9 Quick Rock is the name of the radio station. I do the afternoon drive, so I get to tell people that Nickelback's a good band.
You're a liar.
Oh, God, it's so terrible.
You're a professional liar.
Yeah, and I don't get paid as much as like a lawyer or something. But yes, we do still work in the radio industry.
I handle a lot of stuff on the business side.
Yeah,
I used to be on the air a long, long time ago.
Now you're back.
Well, yeah, now I'm back.
You're back on the air.
Yeah, back on the air.
Discourse_SOTC goes on to ask, oh, this is an easy one. What's your favorite hockey-themed movie?
Hockey-themed movie?
I would probably say it's between Slapshot and Goon. I really, really like Goon. That movie is absolutely hilarious.
Still haven't seen it.
What?
I know. You've been telling me for 2-3 years now
What
to
the-
watch it.
How have you not seen this movie yet?
All right, I promise by episode 5, I'll watch it.
Goon 2, The Last of the Enforcers, is being filmed right now. Michael Delzato is going to be in the movie.
See, another reason this guy's having the best summer ever.
Yeah, so I would probably have to say, that's the thing, though. Would I put Goon over Slapshot?
You cannot
Probably
put
not.
Goon over
No,
Slapshot.
That's what I'm saying. I probably would.
Slapshot is fantastic.
Yeah, so I'm just going to have to go ahead and say Slapshot.
But don't forget about the Mighty Ducks.
Yes. And also
Gordon Bombay.
Also Mighty Ducks 2. We made references to that. And I think going on a side note, I think it's amazing that the dude that played Fulton Reed in the Mighty Ducks is playing Foggy Nelson on Daredevil. Speaking of which, great show on Netflix. You haven't watched it yet.
And season 2 coming up soon.
Oh, man. Punisher is going to be on that.
Yes, can't wait.
All right, we're getting off track with this. This next question comes from Reddit user Pipeline91. He says, since it's a slow season, maybe some topics you guys could talk about would be personal Flyers things, i.e., favorite Flyer and why.
Pelly Eklund. Going
Really?
back to, yes. And it only goes back to one reason is the number 9. He was number 9 when I was growing up, and when I played baseball, I was number 9. So that was the only reason. That was my connection, and I rooted for him. So I was a big Pelly Eklund fan.
All right. That's a good one.
There's no real rhyme or reason to it. It's just that we both wore the same number.
Mine, I'm going to have to go with Ron Hextall.
Oh,
Ron
well,
Hextall is
you
my
can't go
favorite
wrong with
Flyer
Hexy. Yep.
of all time. The first real exposure I ever had to hockey when I was like a little kid, I saw him playing goal on TV, and I was like, good God, like who is this guy? And then, things eventually, picked up steam when I got a little bit older throughout the 90s with Lindros and all that stuff, and I was locked in for life.
Yeah, I mean, if I had to go on just pure talent and watching on the ice and cheering for, John LeClair is probably my favorite Flyer of all
Johnny
time.
Vermont.
Yep.
You got to love him,
Yep.
man.
So he would be my favorite, probably my favorite Flyer of all time.
He also asked, what's your favorite Flyers memory? Mine is Simone Gagne, Game 7.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
That is definitely a good one.
That is a real good one.
Favorite Flyer memory for me, I can remember the Cup Finals in 87, the year Hextall was a rookie.
Yeah.
That was definitely it. I remember my parents painting my bedroom, so I had to sleep on the floor in my sister's room during the Cup Finals and listening to the games on the radio because we didn't have cable at that time.
Right.
My part of the street did not have cable, so we didn't have Prism or weren't able to watch the game, so had to listen to it on the radio. So so that's one of my first memories of being a Flyers fan. And I knew this question was coming up. I brought this with me.
What is this? I've never seen this. You didn't even show this to me before the show.
So
we'll get a picture of this. Tell what it is. This is amazing.
It's a ticket to the inaugural game at the time it was the Coors State Center.
That's right.
Yep.
Before it became the First Union Center, right?
Yeah. So back in 96?
Yep.
So
wow,
my
this is
aunt,
amazing.
My Aunt Dawn actually took me to that game, and I still have the ticket after all these years.
That is incredible.
And I just came across this a few weeks ago.
Wow,
so,
this is really,
yep.
really
So
cool.
the inaugural game against the Florida Panthers.
That's awesome. That's a great Flyers memory.
So they're my 2 favorite Flyers memories of all time.
That is fantastic. I'm really jealous of that. That is so cool.
It's a pretty cool ticket, too, isn't it?
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah. And let's look at the price now, kids, how much this was in 1996 for section 113, row 16, seat 12, $59.52 with just under $3 tax. That's not too bad.
No, not bad at all. Probably just a little bit more expensive these days.
Just a little bit. Thank goodness for StubHub. Fantastic. Great questions all around from people. And there are some more questions that we have, but we'll get to those on another episode.
Absolutely. So
it's fun getting to know each other here.
Yeah.
I think it's great. Now, speaking of getting to know each other, we're also reaching out to our great friends and neighbors on Reddit Flyers, also some of the other great Flyers websites, including FlyersNerd.com, OrangeandBlackPack.com, and BroadStreetHockey.com.